eating disorder? Does Donna Adelson suffer from an eating disorder? When Wendi Adelson was testifying on the stand in the trial of Charles Adelson, she was questioned by Rashbaum, and she referred to Donna as believing that she was fat when she was not and trying to lose weight. We also see that she appears as though she's lost weight since she's been incarcerated. And based on some of the YouTube videos that I've been seeing, I think it was perhaps on Surviving the Survivor, but I'm not sure if that's where it was. I think perhaps Tim Jansen said that he had heard that Donna had been not eating, and he referred to it as a hunger strike. So that combination of facts led me to wonder if she might have an eating disorder, if she's seeing herself as larger than she is. It would be understandable that she would be very distraught since she's been arrested and may not be able to eat, or perhaps she has a deficiency in something like B12 or B6, which would give her an appetite. So she might have lost her appetite because of malnutrition. But I'm wondering also if the ongoing stress has led to her trying to control maybe the one thing that she could control, which would be her weight and what she can eat. And in the since she's been incarcerated, probably not eating is the one thing that she can do. You know, there's control of every aspect of her life, but she can decide not to eat and have some control over her environment when the rest of the control has been taken away. Another thing that I'm thinking about is just that her physical condition has been mentioned many times. So we see that Charles Adelson is mentioning the fact that she's wasn't able to sleep and her stomach conditions, you know, after the bump. And so it seems like she's made it known when she's not feeling well, and that has been a cause of concern. So we see both of her children expressing concern over her physical health. Charles about her sleeping and her stomach issues, and Wendi about her believing that she's fat and not eating. So it sounds like Wendi is kind of signaling, you know, my mother's got an eating disorder, which could be brought on by the whole situation, or it may have been there in the past. So the other thing that I was thinking about is how Donna would have become so distraught, so unregulated, so much wanting to control the situation that was going on for her daughter Wendi, while Wendi was going through her separation, divorce, custody battle with Daniel Markel. And it strikes me that since we know from, you know, the facts that have been provided in all of these podcasts, documentaries, and the trials themselves, that there was stress between Donna and her eldest son, Robert, years back. So at the time when Robert was dating his current wife, Donna seems to have been upset about that, and then he would have married, I guess, the woman that she thought would be a better choice, divorced that woman, and then ended up with the first woman. So you can imagine that that was her first child, who left home and was making his own decisions, and she couldn't coordinate that, you know, so she had made something of a job of herself raising the children, and as they grew, her control and her desire to have everything go well for them as she defined it became more and more out of her control. So she was probably highly stressed by that. And then that stress led to her perhaps being less able to deal with the other stresses that came about, such as when her daughter was going through another divorce and having more children, and it must have just seemed to her like everything was out of her control, whereas prior to that she'd felt like, well, she'd done a good job. They'd all been very well educated, they all did really well in school, they had good careers, and then suddenly it was out of her control. She couldn't coordinate it. And as time went on, she seems to have gotten more and more distraught, to the point where when she is writing those emails, whatever you think about those emails, it does not sound like at that point that her thought processes were sort of, calm, and, that she seemed like she lost control of herself, was not thinking clearly, and it seemed an emergency and she had to fix it and she couldn't fix it, and it just went on like that, to the point where now, she's incarcerated. All right, thanks for listening.